welcome back to another episode of It's in the Details. As always, thank you for being back. And hit the buttons, man. Hit the buttons. If you like something, tell us about it and tell a friend. Okay? Hit the buttons. There's some things I want to talk to you guys about this week. I want to talk to you horror movie and TV lovers. I don't love them. They're not for me. And I have some assumptions I've made about you people. You guys are clearly unemotional. You have no regard for your fellow human being. I'm mostly kidding. But how you could just sit down for hours and find entertainment in people being slaughtered and tortured in movies and TV for your entertainment, I think that says something about you. Right? I think it does. I'm being mostly ridiculous. But they're not for me. I don't know how you get into them. I don't. You also don't have a clear grasp on reality because you sit around watching these ghouls and ghosts and monsters and goblins and all these things attacking people. These things couldn't possibly exist, guys. Couldn't possibly. But you go and you watch them and you love them. You lap them up. Okay. I mean, watch whatever you want to watch. Really. But it's not for me. But I do find a place to get what I think you're getting from them. I think what you guys get from them are these big adrenaline rushes. When these things are happening, these scary, spooky things are happening, you feel a thrill inside your bodies. When that dude turned left and he should have turned right, or they opened that closet and a dude with a hacksaw's in there. You know, all the things that happen in horror movies. The exorcist girl starts to levitate. You know, tremors, the things are under the, that's not really a horror. You get what I'm saying, right? Scary stuff happens. And you enjoy it, sort of. You may have heard me say this before. I don't enjoy it so much. While I'm watching it, I can see the ridiculousness in the picture. I've said this before. I'm sure you've heard me say it. I can see the ridiculousness in what's happening. I can see it's not real. But when it's done, that shit lives with me wherever I go for weeks. I can't get, is the man with one eye and a painted on cheek gonna come around the corner? Stuff. I see these things in my imagination. It's very vivid. Okay? So I got problems with it. But I do have a place where I get what you get, and I'm not sure all of you get it in the same way I get it from this place. What I love is extreme sports documentaries. I really enjoy them. I really do. And it doesn't impact me the same way that I think it impacts some of you. See, you can go watch a horror movie and you get that adrenaline thrill where a 10-year-old girl bends over backwards, right? Her jet black hair falls in her face and she starts walking to you on her hands. And you're like, that was the best movie ever. It ain't. It ain't the best movie ever. It might have been the best thrill ride. It ain't that either. But it might have been the best thrill ride for you. Right? Not for me. Where I get it from is these extreme sports documentaries. Watching all of these athletes, okay, expressing athleticism in a way we didn't know was possible. We did not know it was possible. We couldn't have fathomed it, right? And I love the excellence. I love the excellence of them being able to accomplish these things. It does send my mind spinning down various avenues. Like, why are you doing this? Why, why are you doing these things? Right? Sometimes they answer. Sometimes they don't answer so well. What even made you believe that something like this was possible? How did you even develop a plan to do what you're doing relatively safely? I don't get it. But I love watching it. I really do. And furthermore, these people clearly believe, they truly believe they've done all the preparation possible to take almost all of the risk out of what they're doing so they don't die, right? And even if they do fall, you're not falling. You know what I mean? You're just watching a thing and you're not actually going to get hurt. I'm hearing myself say this right now, and you guys watch people get fake hurt and enjoy it, and I'm watching real people possibly get real hurt and enjoying it. All right, we could just move on past that. We just skip right over that, and continue moving forward. I really thoroughly enjoy watching these people do these things. It doesn't make me, it doesn't make my palms and my pit sweat like it might do for some of you. Using my fingers as shields for my eyes so I can avoid watching the man in the danger he's in on the screen. I don't need to do any of that. Locked in. I'm locked in. And furthermore, I trust these people. They've done their homework. I should have the ability to trust in their excellence to get the job done. You know what I mean? We should all trust that they're going to get the job done. And further than that, these extreme sports take place in locations that are so beautiful. You should never take your eyes off the screen, no matter what kind of flips this man's doing on a wave or rolling down a mountain. You should lock in, because really, these places are so remote, you're probably never going to see them in real life anyway, right? So enjoy them in the documentary. I've got 3 documentaries that stick out in my mind in this same way. We got Free Solo, Alex Honnold, an amazing climber. We've got Meru, which stars Conrad Anker and Jimmy Chin, 2 amazing climbers, and one of them is an amazing photographer, a man who can capture all of the beauty that's taking place on these climbs and in these crazy high altitude situations. And then we've got 100-Foot Wave. 100-Foot Wave is the newest of the bunch, and that details Garrett McNamara and several other high-profile surfers who surf big waves. The documentary is primarily focused around Garrett and his family and their quest to surf the 100-foot wave. Just in case you're wondering, a 100-foot wave is about 10 stories high. 10 stories. So the next time you leave your house, find a building that's got 10 stories and imagine it's a wave that someone wants to surf. 100 feet. Okay? So 100-Foot Wave is a really interesting doc. It moves through their family life and some of his upbringing. It answers some of the questions you would want answered. Sort of how you got into it, sort of how you're sticking with it. But it doesn't answer all of them, which I think is perfect. Because I'm not sure any of these people really have an answer. Some of them know they're adrenaline junkies, and this is what they do. Some of them just really love surfing. They really love it. You know how you love butter on bread? You go to a little Italian restaurant, they serve up some pasta, they have some bread sitting on the table, it's warm, the butter's warm, and it just melts on the bread. You know how you love that? That's how they love surfing. Okay? That's how they love it. So there's some of that. There's also so much beauty. They find out the number one spot on Earth for big ass waves. Waves like you've never seen. It takes place in Nazaré, Portugal. Okay? It happens for X amount of months. Storms brew, all sorts of things happen there to create perfect monster waves. And we find out that the big wave surfing community flocks there from time to time throughout the year to catch these big ass waves. And we meet so many amazing surfers. The one surfer I have just recently started caring about a year or so ago is Kai Lenny. Kai Lenny makes an appearance throughout the last 3 or 4 episodes of 100 Foot Wave. Oh, it's a 6-parter. 6-parter. So you're going to devote some time to it, but it's worth your time. If you're into this stuff, right? If you're into, I don't know, excellent surfers, if you're into amazing preparation, if you're into horrible preparation with excellent surfers, sometimes Mother Nature says, hey, get off this damn wave or else. And these people love surfing, so sometimes they don't listen and things happen. But the documentary demands your attention at all times. If you are a nature lover, I don't understand how you can't enjoy watching waves crash on the shore, right? Some people like tropical waves. They just come in, just little 2-3 inches. They just hit the shores, right? Some people like to get out a little further, have those little 3-4 footers slamming up against your back, blowing your sunglasses off your head, back to your own beach chair, stuff like that, right? So if you have the opportunity to watch 50, 60, 80-foot waves crashing into the shores, I don't know how you don't take that chance. You gotta take this chance just to see it, right? But what really sticks out to me, and this is a thing with all of these people, right? You have catastrophes happening. Catastrophes happen. I told you Mother Nature says get off the damn wave. Catastrophes happen, right? But you got people out here that don't care. There's one scene in this doc where a man is out with his team. I think there's 4 or 5 of them. Jet skis, surfers, they're out, safety jet skis, all the things. They do things, they figure it out. Remember how I said, how do you even come up with a plan? They came up with a plan so you could do this stuff safely. As safe as it gets. Because Mother Nature. So this man's out with his team. One of his teammates gets thrown from a wave. And if you watch it, you'll see Nazare's waves aren't normal waves. You got big ass wave coming in after big ass wave. And if you fall down and they don't rescue you immediately, shit can get squirrely. Okay? It can get a little bit sketchy. People could go to the hospital. It happens. You'll see it. It happens. But what is so interesting about these people, these extreme sports people, these I gotta catch the next wave people, I gotta climb the next thing people, is they are undeterred when you go down and they haven't finished doing what they got to do. There's a Brazilian dude in this documentary. Teammate goes down and he goes, she went down. They took her away to get help. I'm here to surf. I'm here to catch waves, man. That's what I'm here for. They're taking care of her. There are waves out here taking care of me. And that is some selfishness, professionalism. I'm not sure what it is, but it brings a smile to my face. I'm not really sure why either. I haven't really dug down to find out why that tickles me the way it does. Because I think I would have been at the hospital with my friends, man. I think I would have gone to make sure there's nothing I can do at the hospital, but it's what you do. You go, you take care of your friend, right? You could surf tomorrow. You could surf 4 hours late. Well, maybe not. You see, darkness, things happen, and maybe that's why he had to. Maybe I solved it myself, guys. I solved it myself. He surfed it because you don't know if these waves will be back. And his friend's back. Things happen. Okay? Then we got Meru. Meru was suggested. Recommended seems a little bit heavy. Recommended is too much for this picture and what happened. Meru was suggested by one of our guests, Linda, from a few episodes back. Linda suggested it to me because I was talking about free solo, I believe. And she said, you got to check out Meru if you're into that stuff. So I popped Meru on recently. And Meru is a phenomenal mountain range in India. And there is a peak called the Shark's Fin, because it kind of looks like a shark's fin, right? And no one, think about all these climbers climbing all over the place. No one has conquered the shark's fin in Meru. And it's interesting. There's some history, and they speak of the exact location of this mountain range being the center of the universe and things like that. Math and science, all of the things coming together to make this a glorious point on Earth that man must conquer, because that's what man does, right? It's very beautiful. Meru's interesting because the way they shoot everything happening on the mountain, the climbing of the mountain, the lookouts, all the things, is spectacular. I don't know what kind of cameras they used. Maybe they used them Ted Lasso cameras. It's beautiful. Everything else shot around it. The confessionals, obviously the archival footage is not very great, but all of the other stuff, poo-poo. It doesn't look good. It's not. They could have shot it here. It's just a regular place. You know what I mean? It doesn't look fancy at all. But all the stuff you need is great. Really good. But these people, man, the number one guy, Conrad, he had a buddy. You'll see this in the documentary, and I'm not going to spoil too much, but he had a buddy, a mentor, that tried to climb this mountain. Couldn't get it done for various reasons, right? And then eventually passed. And Conrad said, I got to go get this mountain for my man. My mentor wanted to conquer this mountain. No one's conquered this mountain. I'm one of the best climbers in the world. I'll get it done, right? And they take you through his journey to try and accomplish this feat. But y'all, there are some twists and turns in this documentary you will not see coming. I had my jaw on the floor a couple of times, and it had nothing to do with climbing mountains. Okay? overall, I would give this documentary like a 6.5, 7. Overall, the beauty, you can't match the beauty, so you might just want to tune in for that. You might have even had your interest piqued by that little thing I just told you about, a little twist and turn coming up that has nothing to do with climbing a mountain. You got to see this. I can't believe I'll put it this way. The climbing community is too close. They are too close to one another. But people are out here living their lives. Who am I to judge? I'm not judging. I should just say they are close. They're not too close. They can be as close as they want to be. They are close in this climbing community. Then we got Jimmy Chin. I think Jimmy Chin, I should have looked this up. I think Jimmy Chin took part in the Free Solo documentary as well. But he has a big prominent role in this doc and this climb. But he's another one of these ruthless type dudes. Like the Brazilian guy from 100 Foot Wave. Jimmy Chin was out here filming. This is in the doc. He was out here filming a snowboarding commercial or a shoot, something like that. And there was an accident. Big accident. Guy fell down, busted up his head, busted up his back. Bad accident, okay? Bad accident. They take him to the hospital. They do all the things, right? And guess what Jimmy Chin does the next day? The next day, they go back to work. Him and the rest of the guys, other than the dude who fell down and busted his head open, went back to work. Where? At an office? The studio? The mountain with the snowboarding and the skiing and the falling and the peaking and the speed. They went back to the mountain the next day. This man is in the hospital. We got work to do. That's how these guys roll. We got work to do. Well, what if you fall down? None of them say I'm better at it than that guy, but you kind of feel like that's what they're thinking. I'm better at it than that guy. It's not going to happen to me. My safety precautions, my experience, my edges, the wax I put on I'm better at it. They mean I'm better at it than that guy. It's not going to happen to me. And I mean, they're still here. So maybe I'm not going to say they're better at it than me. That's for sure. But Meru, twists and turns, y'all. Twists and turns. Some real drama as well. Some surprising drama. Some tough pictures to look at. And extreme temperatures, extreme altitude, extreme performance, extreme temperatures, extreme nature. It's quite a watch. The last one on the list, Free Solo, probably the best one on the list. I haven't seen it since I saw it in theater. I'll tell you, when I saw it in theater, it was a lot of what I talked about in the intro. A lot of people covering their eyes, a lot of people squirming and shaking. Free Solo, Alex Honnold, he decides he's going to climb a mountain named El Capitan in Yosemite. Yosemite Park, I believe that's California. It's beautiful. I've had, prior to him and since I watched that documentary, I've had that mountain range up as my desktop. I'm one of those nerds. Yes, I'm one of those nerds. I had it up on my desktop and as my wallpaper. And once Alex Honnold conquered it, I had him on my desktop on El Capitan. What's so big about him climbing this mountain? Well, people have climbed this mountain before, but they've never done it without ropes. What'd you say? I said they've never climbed it without ropes. Alex Honnold climbed this mountain, or attempted to climb this mountain, without ropes. How big's the mountain? A couple hundred feet for 1,000 plus feet, I believe. Well, how long would it take him to climb that big ass mountain without ropes? Hours. Hours. He planned on it taking him hours to climb. Okay? Well, why this? Because people are into what they're into, and this is such an immense challenge that that's what he was training for. And you got to watch this documentary. I mean, these people, these climbing people, these surfing people, they are happy to be homeless. And when I say homeless, I mean they're happy to live in a van, a trailer, an RV. They're happy to have all the stuff they need to be excellent at what they want to do on wheels. So they can do it anywhere. They don't have to be confined by commutes and things like that. I'm climbing that mountain tomorrow. Guess where I'm sleeping? At the mountain. This is what they do. They really love it. This documentary is interesting because Alex has a lady at the time of trying to get all this stuff accomplished. I won't give any spoilers as to whether or not they are still together. But as you would expect, she's not 100% comfortable with him doing this stuff. Right? You love this person, and this person thinks climbing up sheer mountain faces with no ropes is a good idea. And he's the only one. There aren't many people that believe that's a good idea. And you know who definitely doesn't believe that's a good idea? The person that loves them. Like, they manage to work themselves into a place where they're like, this is what makes my person feel the most alive. This is what they need for them to feel like a whole person. And they've convinced themselves of that. But none of them actually believe it. And you know how I know this? Because all of them are consistently working on the exit strategy. How do I get them to stop climbing these mountains? How do I get them to stop surfing these waves? How do I get them to stop snowboarding down the side of a mountain that had an avalanche yesterday? How do I stop them from doing these things, even though I know this is what they love doing? I don't want them to die. You know, this is what the partners are thinking. And I think this is what most of us are thinking. I would like you to not die. I would also like to see you accomplish these incredible feats so I could get my adrenaline rush from an arm's reach. Once again, thank you very much for joining us here on It's in the Details. As I tell you people, hit them buttons, tell a friend. I hope you enjoyed it. See you in a week. Peace.